Hey guys, welcome back. So, when I first played Halo 5, I, along with practically the entire Halo community, were left wondering how the hell the domain was seemingly a-okay and functioning after the Halo array was fired at the end of the Forerunner-Flood War. It works under the assumption of neural physics, therefore it's technically a living thing, and should have been damaged at least, if not completely obliterated by the Halo array. Granted, it was fired a very long time ago, some hundreds of thousands of years ago, but there was no large force of Forerunner engineers or any force of Forerunners or anything to repair it in the meantime. They were all dead, at least most of them were. Well, now we have some closure on this, thanks to Promises to Keep, which is a short story in Halo Fractures that is set just after Halo Silentium. So don't forget to leave a like down below, and let's get into how the hell the domain somehow managed to survive the entire Halo array. So, the story is about what the Forerunners who survived the firing of the Halo array did after. Essentially, the librarian left a message before she died on Earth for Bornstella. This message was neglected for many years, and after hundreds of years of reseeding species across the galaxy with the surviving Forerunners, Bornstella opened the message. It was telling him to travel to Maithrilian, which is the Forerunner capital, and fix the domain, so the Reclaimers, which is obviously humanity, could use it in the future. The remaining Forerunners went to the capital, of course now completely abandoned due to the Halo array, and Bornstella, Chantergreen, Splendid Dust, Trial of Change, and a few other Forerunners worked their way through the hallways of Maithrilian. They encountered something named ABADDON, who wanted to punish the Forerunners. But we're going to get into this later, as its true identity is extremely important, not only for the past, but also very likely for the future too. Ultimately, the Forerunners made it to the domain, deep inside Maithrilian's halls, and it was protected by ABADDON. They had to insert a key into the domain to essentially restart it and begin its repairing process. With ABADDON distracted, Trial grabbed the key, rushed to the domain and inserted it, which ended up not exactly killing her. I'll quote her death scene directly from the book, so you can sort of make your own judgment and theories on what may have come of her. She glowed and sparkled, as if she was made of starlight. She nodded, white light coming out of where her eyes had once been, and a voice in Bornstella's head whispered, "All is well." Then, she was gone. So, she seemingly sacrificed herself to restart and repair the domain, and by the sounds of it, may have possibly even entered it. ABADDON then seemingly disappeared, and I'm yet to come to a conclusion as to why he disappeared, and Bornstella, Chantergreen and the surviving Forerunners left the galaxy to resettle and eventually phase out the Age of the Forerunners. Okay, so now you're up to speed with how the domain actually functions in Halo 5, what the hell is ABADDON? Well, ABADDON is actually a precursor ancilla. It helped the Forerunners access and utilize the domain after they eradicated the precursors, and was then buried deep within Maithrilian's halls. It had a deep hatred for the Forerunners for obvious reasons, and wished to punish them for their crimes against the mantle. There's actually some pretty damn creepy evidence for this in Promises to Keep, where there's, if I can remember correctly, an echo of a Forerunner councillor telling anybody who came to this part of Maithrilian to turn back and leave ASAP. Anyways, back to the point. Before, I said that ABADDON's true identity is very important for the past and the future. Here's why. In the final hours of the Forerunner-Flood War, the Gravemind told the librarian that the Organon and the domain were synonymous. They were essentially the same thing. This was however contradicted by the Didact some years before, when he was awoken from his cryptum by Bornstella. After many years in meditative hibernation, with nothing but the domain and its wealth of knowledge for company, he said that the Organon didn't exist, at least in the form the Forerunners originally imagined. Now, there's been much speculation as to what the Organon actually is since this, with some people in the community believing it to actually be synonymous with the domain, whilst others believed it was a domain node, or was maybe even wrapped in the domain. However, the Didact was right. The Organon is ABADDON. This means that the Organon is an ancilla, and that the domain stands entirely separate from it, which is a massive revelation, and it's great to finally get some closure on something that's been wrapped in massive ambiguity for quite a few years now, especially when the closure comes in a form that absolutely nobody expected. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you haven't yet, I highly suggest picking up Halo Fractures. The book is absolutely fantastic. If you do have Halo Fractures, leave your thoughts on Promises to Keep and the rest of the stories in the comments down below. Although, be fairly spoiler wary for both myself and others. I'm still reading through it because I am a really slow reader, and I'm sure there are many other people who watch my videos who are also slow readers, or maybe haven't had a chance to read it all yet, so when you're commenting, at least spoiler tag your comment. Next time, I'm going to be talking about a theory that was actually brought up on the HaloStory subreddit by a Reddit user by the name of Defguru. I think that's how you pronounce your name, I'm not too sure. Anyways, this theory is relating to Halo 6 and the possible importance of Reach. So it's going to be a really interesting video. I cannot wait to see you there. It should be up in the next few days, and I'll see you then.